So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to bring you a quick but interesting video once again. Now last week I made a video talking about things that I would like to see return in FIFA Career Mode. Features that were once in the game in old games like FIFA 09, like FIFA 10, but were then for some reason removed from the game. Now in the comment section, a lot of you people wanted me to build upon that and bring in some things that have never been on FIFA and talk about why they should be in FIFA Career Mode as well. So that is what I'm going to be doing for you today. We've got a list of 11 features that have never been in FIFA that should be in the game, either taken from Football Manager or just generally original ideas that would be really cool and would of course enhance the game mode. Now if you go on to enjoy this video, make sure to slap a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you've got any other features you would like to see implemented into FIFA 19 Career Mode or just Career Mode generally in the future, drop them down in the comment section below. First of all though, we're going to go out on a limb. We're going to come straight in here with a massive one, and this is the potential to create your own team. Now theoretically this should not be too much of an issue in terms of licensing. I can't imagine you can create your own teams in other game modes like pro clubs. Obviously the whole premise of Ultimate Team is that you create your own club, but this would be slightly different in the sense that you are genuinely making a badge, naming a stadium, creating an actual team, and then maybe starting from scratch, maybe buying free agents only at the bottom tier of whatever country you choose, or starting with a pre-made team or signing all the players, maybe having a budget at the start of the season and signing all the players, something like that. But creating your own team in Career Mode would be so cool. A personalized element, it would give YouTubers so much more content to make and would just be generally so awesome. Like imagine creating your actual own football club and achieving success with them. That would be absolutely insane, something that I would love to see in Career Mode. I'm sure it's possible on PC, but obviously on console it's just not doable. Number 2 here, we've got post-match press conferences. Now, this is something that should definitely be implemented onto FIFA at some point. We've already seen some cutscenes put into the game mode, and surely this is the next thing on the agenda for EA, especially given it is present in the Journey game mode. We said it as soon as the Journey was announced, and we saw sort of screenshots of post-game press conferences or like press conferences and interviews generally. This surely has to leak over into Career Mode eventually. The opportunity to answer questions from the press, and however you answer them then sort of determines the morale of certain players or your team generally speaking, or maybe affects the fan confidence and chairman confidence that you have. If they were animated, it would be absolutely amazing, but even if they were just like the questions that you toggle the answers for, like in the Journey, that would be absolutely sick as well. Something that definitely needs adding very soon to Career Mode. Number 3 is a bit more of a collective one really, but being able to watch games. Now this isn't obviously something for everybody. Not everybody's going to want to do this. It's really the hardcore guys that are maybe going to spend an extra 20 minutes watching a game. But the opportunity to actually go and watch AI games, like all the time you see managers in the stands watching a certain player that they want to see, they want to sign, and they go out and actually physically watch that player perform. It might also apply to the youth academy team that you have. I will jump onto that in a moment, that's going to be my next point, but you can go and actually watch football matches and actually get a chance to see players before you actually sign them. Again, it can be like completely optional. You just go to the calendar, select what game you want to watch, if there's a player from that team that you're specifically interested in, and just go ahead, sit back and watch like a 4-minute halves game and see if they perform. And leading on from that, I was talking about youth academy players and watching them perform. If we could have under 21 teams, or at least just general youth academy teams, that would be so cool, and getting stats from them as well. So often you'll get youth academy players that look so good on paper come up to the first team, the senior side, and then they underperform. It would be so awesome to get some stats from them, see how they performed in a youth academy team at under 21 level, how many goals, how many assists, what the average rating was, and whether they're actually going to perform on the pitch. And as an aside, it would be really cool to see then how they do if they go out on loan. You can't really get statistics back on players that go out on loan. That being added to the game would be really cool, along of course with under 21 sides. Number 5, we've got player interaction. So frequently you want to reply to an email that you get from a player and you're just not able to. Someone said saying they want to get more game time. So many times I wanted to reply with, you're going to get more game time, but not until next season when you've grown a little bit more. By then, they want to leave. If you'd been able to tell them that, they would have at least been able to make a decision. They might have still wanted to leave, or they might have wanted to be patient and wait for that extra season. Being able to reply to the emails that you get from the board, from other teams, from players though, most importantly, would be so much more helpful. If anything, it wouldn't necessarily add much in terms of like, oh, the game mode's so much better, but it would be massively helpful really for certain situations with players being unsettled, etc. You know, saying, oh, okay, I can give you this new contract, but you're going to have to wait 6 months till I have the funds for it. Number 6 is a simple one and something that's been implemented by teams recently, mostly by Chelsea, and this is having a feeder club. Chelsea obviously have their feeder club Vitesse Arnhem over in Holland. You could set up a little bit of a negotiation or a deal with another team in a lower league or in a different country and agree to loan a certain amount of players maybe to them per season. Maybe you'll have an agreement that you loan 2 players to them per year, or 3, or maybe even 4, and they have to take some of your young players on loan and play them a certain amount of games or something like that, just agreeing, you know, deals with a feeder side and getting those young players that all-important experience, because it's already hard enough as it is to loan players out on this game. At least with this system, you might actually be able to do that. You can actually do it on Football Manager as well. It's probably quite far down on EA's sort of list of priorities, but eventually it will be quite a cool thing to see. Changing player positions is something that has never been in FIFA, and this would be huge. Oh man, it would be so cool because it changes the way players grow. If you think a winger is a better striker and you start training him on his finishing, he's actually not going to grow in overall as much as if you then trained him on his crossing. So being able to even just train his positioning, even if it took a little while, even if it wasn't instant, even if it took like 6 months, a year to actually physically get into that position where he can actually change to become a striker from being a winger, would be so helpful, especially when it comes to attribute growth and training as well. And it just looks a little bit nicer. Instead of having a winger up front, you've now got a striker up front, even though they were a winger in the past. After that, we've got customizable managers. Obviously for FIFA 17, was it? We now had the option to create your own manager that you would see on the touchline, or I say create loosely, choose a preset basically, and there's only like 7, and that hasn't been improved upon, sorry, for FIFA 18. So the opportunity to actually build your own manager, I mean, it's very easy to customize a player, to create your own player on the game. I can't see how it would be too difficult really to create your own manager and have them in the cutscenes and have them down on the touchline as well. I mean, your created players appear down on the pitch, so why can a created manager not appear there as well? Again, a little bit more customization, makes it feel a little bit more personal. Anyway, just 3 more to go now, and we've got changeable kits. Being able to change kits and sponsors, I know, is a huge thing in terms of licensing for FIFA, but hopefully in the future it's something that can try and bypass with the licensing, to be able to actually change your kits every season, because it does get a little bit stale having the same kit every single season, if you get what I mean. It's something that you can live with, but it is something that would just be nice to change, even if it's literally just fine details when it comes to the design. Maybe you can't change the colour, you can't change the sponsor, but you can at least change the style maybe of the kit, or maybe even the supplier of the kit or something, just so that things change a little bit from season to season. An ultimate one now we've got is more customization for players. This is a pretty short one really, but changing hairstyles, giving players tattoos, just changing their looks a little bit more. Players change their hair all the time. Paul Pogba's had more hairstyles than assists this season. You know, they change their hair a lot. And also we have this thing with youth academy players who just don't look anything like their actual picture. So being able to change that would be really cool. And just customizing players generally a bit more than just untucking their shirts or changing their sock height, or would be quite cool. Changing their actual physical appearance would be quite nice too. And then finally, being able to actually customize and build stadiums, either that being building an entire new stadium and having to save money to do that via TV rights or via prize money in the end of a season, or just being able to build upon your current stadium to prevent being in a position where you're a League 2 side playing the Champions League semi-finals or whatever, and you're playing in front of 6,000 people. It's so infuriating being in that position. It makes no sense for small teams to only have small stadiums for the entirety of the career mode. It would surely be a relatively simple thing to do, or at least just give us the option at the end of a season to try and change to a new stadium with the money that we have. Even if we can't build upon current stadiums, stadiums, being able to move to different ones would be quite cool. But that is going to be it then for the 11 new features that we would all like to see in FIFA Career Mode. Once again, if you've got any more suggestions or requests or things that you want to see in FIFA Career Mode in the future, drop them down in the comment section below. Plenty of cool ideas that I took from the comment section of the last video that I did on this. If you haven't seen that, there'll be an annotation at the top right of the screen that was old features that used to be on FIFA that we want to see back, and loads of cool comments down there. I really do appreciate it. You guys with some really creative ideas actually as well. That has been it from me. If you've enjoyed the video, slap a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and you can also follow me on social media these days. My Twitter handle is @theofficialfng, links are down below, and my Instagram is exactly the same. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.